Yeah, I know my hat's crooked. It's the style, man. I'm hip. I'm hip bizzle. For shizzle. Dizzle. Hog. I'm not very hip. Hey everybody. I have something very, very important to talk about today. It's a problem that plagues this entire country. It's worse than illegal immigrants. It's worse than the war in Iraq. It's worse than the possibility that a Republican might become president again. I didn't say that. This is a problem that that affects anybody and everybody who wears socks. I'm specifically referring to wet socks. There is nothing worse than wet socks. Wet feet, okay, yeah, my feet are wet, maybe some athlete's foot a little bit later, piss on it, you'll be fine. Yeah, your feet get cold, but you're gonna survive. But there ain't nothing worse. There ain't nothing worse. Gee, I don't have any hick in me. There isn't anything worse than wet socks, particularly wet socks that are on your feet. Wearing wet socks. Now, granted, wet feet aren't the greatest thing in the world, but there is worse. You can survive from wet feet. But there's something about a wet sock that makes wet feet 100 times worse. It's like wearing, underwear for a week straight, but the underwear still looks clean, but it's got a, oh my god, I hit a deer mark in there. No, in fact, I think it's worse. There's just something so eerily disgusting about wet socks, especially when the socks are a cold wet, when the liquidy substance like water or weak old urine or anything is extremely cold, and then that cold liquid permeates through the sock, and then you have wet feet that are now cold, and it's all amplified by the fact that you're wearing this cold wet sock. Perfect example right here. I just had to take these off my feet right there. That is a wet sock. Look at that. Cold, wet permeation. This thing is soaked now. I was perfectly content wearing these socks. I have two of them, and they both suffer. Sometimes you get one sock wet, but the other one's dry, and you don't want to be all, well, I'm really enjoying the foot that's still dry. I like wearing socks, but, I don't want to take off the other sock, because why would you wear one sock? You gotta, socks come in pairs. You need to wear two socks, and your dry sock is just so enjoyable. And your one foot that's wearing the dry sock is enjoying the dry sock so much that it's worth the sacrifice of wearing the wet sock on the other foot. And you're like, one sock is cold and wet, but the other one is warm and dry, and I'm not going to be a doofus and wear one sock. No, because that would just be uneven. No, I'll suffer through it. And I suffered through a little bit, but then the other sock was infected with coldness. So now we have two socks that are now cold and wet, and my feet are miserable because of it. And you know what? Now that my feet are cold, global warming will now be on the rise. The polar ice caps will melt. Meteors will fall from the sky and destroy half of the population. And Bruce Willis is getting a little too old to fly up there and save the planet, right? I guess we don't need Bruce Willis. Michael Bay's got the Transformers on his side now. We need more Autobots that are space-worthy. They're all trucks and cars now. You can barely break the speed limit. So yeah, join in the fight. Help me stop this infestation of cold, wet socks. Go ahead and go to the link on the side. Click the link. Donate to the cause of stopping cold, wet socks. Join the fight. Believe in the power. Live the dream. Dream the life.
Stop! I said stop! Stop it!